శాఖ మంత్రి మిత్రులు హరీష్ రావు గారు, అదేవిధంగా మన తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర చీఫ్ సెక్రటరీ సోమేష్ కుమార్ గారు, తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర కోఆపరేటివ్ బ్యాంక్ చైర్మన్ గారు, ఇటీవలనే జాతీయ స్థాయిలో ఉన్నటువంటి కోఆపరేటివ్ బ్యాంక్ కూడా అధ్యక్షులుగా ఎన్నికైనటువంటి మిత్రులు రవీందర్రావు గారు, తెలంగాణ ఆర్థిక శాఖ సెక్రటరీ గారు రామకృష్ణ గారు, అదేవిధంగా రిజర్వ్ బ్యాంక్ ఆర్డీ గారు శ్రీమతి నిఖిల గారు, స్టేట్ బ్యాంక్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా సిజిఎం ఓం ప్రకాష్ మిశ్రా గారు, ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్ర రీజనల్ ఆఫీసర్ సిజిఎం నాబార్డ్ జనవర్ గారు, అదేవిధంగా వేదికపై ఉన్నటువంటి ఇతర మిత్రులు, తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలో ఉన్నటువంటి వివిధ బ్యాంక్స్కి సంబంధించినటువంటి అధికారులు, ప్రెస్ మిత్రులు, పెద్దలు జనార్దన్ రెడ్డి గారు తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర వ్యవసాయ శాఖ కార్యదర్శి గారు, ఇతర మిత్రులకందరికీ పేరు పేరున నా నమస్కారాలు. ఈరోజు తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర సిజిఎం కృష్ణారావు గారు వారు ఈ సమావేశం ఉందని చెప్పి మమ్మల్ని ఆహ్వానించినందుకు మొదటిగా వారికి నేను ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. ఎందుకంటే ఇలాంటి సమావేశాలు సామాన్యంగా రాష్ట్ర ఆర్థిక శాఖ మంత్రులు హాజరవుతుంటారు. ఈసారి మీరు తప్పనిసరిగా హాజరు కావాలని చెప్పి నాబార్డ్ మిత్రులు నన్ను కోరడం, నేను ఇక్కడ రావడం, మీ అందరి నుండి చాలా విషయాలు గ్రహించడానికి నేను ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నాను. తెలంగాణ ఫోకస్ పేపర్ 2021-22 అనేటువంటి ఒక సుదీర్ఘమైనటువంటి బిఫోర్ 2022. So I am a witness to this announcement in the parliament in the year 1960 when the then finance minister made announcement, and it was well greeted by one and all, both from the treasury benches and from the opposition. So not only the then finance minister made this announcement, and while discussing, debating, the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, also referred the statement of Finance Minister, and he was very much confident. Honorable Prime Minister was very much confident to see that the farmers' income will be doubled by 2022. So 2022 is not far away. Already we are in 2021. It's a matter of only 1 year. So you people, you should tell us whether we have at least nearing to achieve that one, doubling the income of farmers by 2022. Janardhan Reddy Garu is very much here. I can say he has doubled the production of he says tripled in the state of Telangana. Yes, under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao Garu and Mr. Harish Rao Garu, who was Minister for Irrigation for a period of 5 years. Under their leadership, yes, we could achieve doubling or tripling 3 times the production which was there in 2014 when Telangana was achieved. So yes, we have increased the production thrice, but now I feel personally, if I am not wrong, many of my friends who are in the dais and as well as in this meeting, you should agree that we are going to see a problem of plenty. That is which we are going to face in the near future. Already faced. Ramakrishna garu ikkada unnaru. I see with every day in and out when our Honorable Prime Minister Chief Minister refers asking him to release some amount for purchase of all these produce. Definitely, I can see on his face how difficult for him to release those amounts, especially when we purchase, especially in the pandemic period. The government of Telangana had purchased the whole production. Just now, our Honorable our Chief Secretary, he referred how much we purchased and how much FCI had in turn purchased from us. So, in the last meeting, I think in the cabinet, our Finance Minister, Secretary, he referred and he mentioned that around 7,500 crores, if I am not wrong, that is the subsidy which the state government incurred while purchasing the produce, and that is the loss which we attained because after we sold those agriculture produce to others. So that is the gap. So state government had incurred, I can't say it is a loss, but that's what we have to shell down from the exchequer to purchase the agricultural produce, more particularly paddy, cotton, and green gram, maize also. So these are the problems. So collectivization of agriculture produce for enhancing farmers' income. So how to increase the farmers' income is a billion-dollar question. Recently, the government of India, as every one of us know, the parliament enacted 2 farm laws. Many are mentioning still as farm bills. They are already enacted. So they are acts already. So those 2 acts, with wisdom, the parliament has already passed. I don't want to go into the details, whether it was debated at length or not. There is a different question. But however, they are the law of the land now, as on today. So in the given circumstances, the Farm Act, 2 acts which were brought very recently, they mentioned a lot about many aspects like contract farming and agricultural produce can be purchased in any part of the country. There are many issues which came to light, and many farmers association, particularly in the North India, they are protesting, as all of us know. So we have to see, now parliament session started today. So hopefully, the government of India, because they have already mentioned, the Honorable Agricultural Minister mentioned that they are going to bring some amendments to the existing acts, both the Farm Acts and also the Essential Commodities Act, which they amended. So in the event if they bring some amendments to these bills, through a bill to the acts, existing acts, I propose, because as this is a seminar, I want to mention my opinion that the government, if they introduce, as mentioned by the Honorable Agricultural Minister, Mr. Tomar, while discussing with the Farmers Association, in the event if they bring such bills in the Parliament, yes, we invite them. They should bring with whatever proposals they may make, but this should be referred to a standing committee where the members of different political parties can discuss it threadbare, and the standing committee can visit different parts of the country and let the nation discuss it, and let us ensure that the farmers in this country in the coming days, they will enhance their income. I think once again the NDA government under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, yes, there is a chance now to rectify the so-called mistakes or the mistakes, whatever it may be. Here is a chance for the government to once again take a call and take the nation into confidence and see that the farm acts, both the acts which the Parliament has already enacted, will ensure the farming community in this country to enhance their income. Because one of the act specifically mentions that the aims and objects of the bills when they were introduced in the Parliament, they specifically mentioned that it will enhance the income of the farming community in our country. To be frank, the Congress party, now in the opposition, during elections in 2014, that party also mentioned that they are going to bring these farms more or less on the same pattern of the bills which this government has already enacted. So I think with regard to the enhancement of farmers' income, this is what I would like to mention. And with regard to the other aspects which just now mentioned by Krishna Ragaru and Professor Revati Garu also, this is with regard to FPOs, Farmers Producers Organization. So during my tenure as MP, 2014 to 19, I met Vasudha Misra, a senior IAS officer, who was at the helm of office while drafting this Farmers Producers Organization regulations. So I was in touch with her for some time, and I too read the draft also before it was placed before the cabinet and later on in the Parliament. So yes, to be frank, this organization may be answer to some of the, I'm saying maybe an answer. I'm not fully confident, but maybe an answer to the problems which now our farming community is facing. So already our government, under the leadership of our Chief Minister, he took initiative to more or less on similar way of FPOs. We called it as Raitu Samanvaya Samitis earlier. So later on, we renamed it as Raitu Bandhu Samitis now. So as mentioned by Krishna Rao Garu, yes, we have already constructed, Harish Garu should tell the figure, I'm unable to. 2,506 Raitu Bandhu Vedikas in all the villages. 2,601. So whatever it may be, so this is a figure we have already constructed, except few in number. They are almost to be completed this month. So with a huge investment, this beautifully they are constructed. So hopefully, I think whether we can make these Raitu Vedikas as FPOs, we should take a call. And I think Harish Garu, Honorable Minister, he is the front runner in every pilot project. I think he should take initiative to see that. Itlanti Harish, whenever if somebody speaks something, he will grab it. Once upon a time, when there was a scheme of urban development, of course, everyone of you know about Harish initiatives, but already cheppestunadu. Atlane, once what happened, I was mentioning about some scheme of urban development in Government of India. I was asking one of my colleague MP to initiate it and to see that one town can be under that scheme, Amrut scheme. So he heard from me, and within 1 month, Somesh Garu, he got Siddipet. I was mentioning to one of my colleagues to see that that town is supposed to have 90,000 population. So the parameter was 1 lakh. So I was asking that MP to see that you merge some 1 or 2 villages and so that your town can become under Amrut. So my colleague, he heard it, and within 2 months I have seen it, and he got a huge amount, 180 crores. Of course, he complimented and he thanked me also later on. So he will take initiative. So I request Mr. Harish from these days that at least you make an effort. So in the coming days, whether it will be a successful story or not, let us see. But I think you should take initiative, because myself and Krishna Rao Garu, we gave a serious thought on it a few months back. He was asking me to see that how your Raitu Samanvaya Samitis can be transformed into FPOs. So anyhow, I think I want to mention it, and I did so. The next, with regard to infrastructure. So I don't want to go into the details of infrastructure, RIDF, roads, and you are constructing godowns and all of these things. It's happening. I don't want to go into those details. But few months back, I made an effort with Mr. Krishna Rao Garu, and I have written a letter to NABARD chairman also, asking him to consider giving loans to farmers for small silos. So once again, I want to raise that point. Discussing with Mr. Ravindra Rao Garu and many MLAs, with whom now and then I meet. So I asked them, silos ante meeku ikkada unna valaki televali Telanganalo enakata mana illallo gummulu ani undedi, with hay gadditone undesi gummulu undedi. So more or less అది స్టోరేజ్ కంటే కూడా it was inherent, it was having a bargaining power. Now what's happening in the villages? The farmer is supposed to sell immediate on the day of harvest. There is no storage capacity for a small, marginal, or even a big farmer, frankly speaking. But in my childhood, I used to see in every village, every farmer used to have some small storage. In Telangana, North Telangana districts, Gummulu ani cheppedi. So I made an effort to see small silos of 5 quintals to 10 quintals, so that he can install in his own agricultural field. As we see in US, నేను అమెరికా వెళ్ళినప్పుడు చూసాం, మీరు కూడా చాలా మంది పోయిన వాళ్ళు చూసి ఉండొచ్చు, యూరోపియన్ కంట్రీస్లో కూడా బిగ్ సైలోస్ ఉంటాయి, because they cultivate thousands of acres. So of course, మనకి ఇక్కడ ఇండియాలో we have small farmers, marginal fragmentation because of fragmentation of land holdings. So why can't small farmers have small silos? The cost is not huge. It's maximum thousands and lakhs, not even 2-3 lakhs, అంతకంటే ఎక్కువ లేదు. పెట్టేసి ఏమవుతుందంటే ఇక్కడ ఇప్పుడు టుడే హీ హ్యాస్ టు సెల్ ఇట్, బికాస్ ఈ కల్చర్ వచ్చేసింది లాస్ట్ 20-30 yearsలో పెట్ట. నో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఫార్మ్ యాక్ట్స్ ఇంకా డిస్ట్రెస్లోకి వెళ్తాడు ఫార్మర్. దిస్ ఈజ్ మై ప్రిడిక్షన్, దిస్ ఈజ్ మై అజంప్షన్. సో వాట్ ఐ ఫీల్ ఈజ్ దట్ ది బ్యాంక్స్ fraternity here should think of lending some amount to even the marginal and small farmers to have some storage capacities. Yes, you can think of large godowns and all those things. I am not against it. But at least some part of your lending should be for holding capacity, bargaining power. డిస్ట్రెస్లో సేల్ చేస్తున్నాడు. ఇప్పుడు వర్షం పడితే హీ సెల్లింగ్ ఎట్ డిస్ట్రెస్ ప్రైస్. మబ్బులు వస్తున్నాయంటే హీ విల్ బి, if he has some small silos in his agriculture field, at least he can protect it. Or even otherwise, if a middleman or if some agricultural market committee, even if they purchase, they can also store it. Nothing wrong in it having those silos. So I'm throwing an idea, let us debate it, discuss it. There is nothing wrong in it. This is what I discussed. It's not from my own. I discussed with Ravindra Raghavar for many a times and many MLAs, and many of them appreciated it to some extent. Some do had negative ideas. They said that it is very difficult for a farmer to hold it. He wants immediate money, so they will sell it. So those were some ideas. So finally, with regard to machinery, customized hire centers. During pandemic, we had an interaction with Institute of Engineers, Hyderabad. You were also there. We had an interaction with regard to these customized hire centers. Luckily, BSc agricultural engineers are also there in our state, because to our university and some private colleges are also, they do have these courses, agricultural engineering graduates. So we can lend money to a group of unemployed youth who we can make them entrepreneurs, and see that customized hire centers are established in each mandal headquarters. Let us not take the government, personally I feel it's very difficult to government to manage all these hire centers. What I feel is that, yes, we can lend money to the young agricultural engineering graduates. They can make a group of people, 2 or 3 or even 5, 6 youngsters. They can start this as agri-clinics or whatever name it may be. I think these customized hire centers can be an alternative to the youngsters from the rural side. So this also may enhance the farmers' income, because after all they are the children of a farmer. So with these words, I think lastly, NABARD, the help to our state government with regard to the Mission Bhagirath, Mission Kakatiya, Kaleshwaram project, they have already sanctioned an amount of nearly 17,600, which was mentioned by Krishna Rao Garu. And I request the NABARD and all the banking fraternity here to come forward to lend not only to the government, to the young entrepreneurs who are from the rural side. Thank you one and all.
నిరంతర న్యూస్ అప్డేట్ కోసం ఛానల్ ను సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. పక్కనే ఉండే బెల్ సింబల్ ను క్లిక్ చేయడం మర్చిపోకండి. అప్డేట్స్ ని మిస్ అవ్వకండి. థాంక్స్ ఫర్ వాచింగ్. ప్లీజ్ లైక్, కామెంట్, షేర్. Follow on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, Instagram. For more updates, please subscribe Great Telangana TV.